Welcome to the MIA podcast with Will Lopez, brought to you as always from the IDS studios in the City of Progress, Hialeah, Florida. It's my honor to have as a guest on this show today the incomparable, the hilarious Mr. Kyle Grooms.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Willie, for having me here, man. And
Willie. I like Willie, man.
Willie.
My mom calls me Willie.
Willie.
My mom calls me Willie when I'm in trouble. Go, Willie! Exactly, dude. I know some shit's going to go down if I hear Willie. That's cool, man.
I met your mom. She's cool, man.
Yeah, she thought you were the pizza delivery boy.
The pizza delivery boy, man, because, I apologize. I didn't,
You didn't catch what she said after, either.
She said he could be.
He could.
Yeah, I understand English, motherfucker. I didn't take offense. It's whatever.
I would have loved it if you were the pizza delivery guy, because you're bringing in a couple of pizzas and you sit down and have a couple slices.
I'll have a few with you guys. Is that all right?
You didn't tip enough. I would have taken me a slice.
Yeah, for real.
Anyway, I'm really happy that you're here, man, especially today, because today's a very special day in the MIA in Miami. It's that 1 or 2 day a year where it's like, it's the weather, it's 50, so winter's coming.
Oh yeah,
it gets like it's on the fucking news.
And that's why I haven't taken my hoodie off, man, because it's fucking cold as fuck in here, man.
Right.
Why I got the AC on in this building?
Right. But the funny thing is, it's like it's on the news. It's like the first thing you hear on the news. Bring your jackets tomorrow. It's gonna be 50.
Yeah.
And everybody's freaking out. No, that's why I love living in this city, man.
Yeah, man. People are running for covers, man. Bringing out their ice skates and shit.
Yeah. So thanks for coming out, man. What have you been doing? How have you been handling this year, this kind of ridiculously crazy year off that we've had, and just
I've been good, man. This has been a good year for me, man.
Really?
Because I almost died in 2019, and I had a surgery, but in 2020 I just recently had hemorrhoid band surgery, so I'm feeling amazing right now. But
okay, back up. You're trying to tell me that the brain tumor is the second worst medical thing that you've had happen to you in the last 2 years?
You had 2 surgeries. I had a
you
brain
from
surgery.
The top and the bottom. You're getting it from all fucking sides, man.
And then in 2020, I got my asshole.
Holy shit.
Done, yeah.
What? All right, you got. Was that something you were thinking about doing, or is it what? I don't.
No, because I've been having.
I was ready with brain questions, bro. I didn't have any asshole. I didn't have any asshole material ready for this podcast. So what? How?
I've been having problems with my movement, for a long, like at least a few years now, and I never knew what it was. So eventually, I turned 50, so I got the exam and everything. They just found out that I had like internal hemorrhoids,
Okay.
Like Joe Diaz says, when you get a certain age, your muffler falls out, So luckily my muffler wasn't falling out. They thought they had to do a colorectal surgery, but once he got in there, he was like, all right, we just some hemorrhoids, and they put bands on them. And since I got it, I was skeptical it wasn't going to work, but I've felt amazing since.
When did you get it during COVID?
I got it November, the first week in November.
Oh, wow.
The first week in November.
Oh, so it's been about a month.
Yeah, it's been about a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what was it like doing like a medical procedure during COVID? With it, like
they make you get a
precautions?
COVID test. At least I know I don't have COVID.
Yeah, sure.
And it's pretty the same. They keep it clean, and it's a procedure. It only lasts 45 minutes. So you go in there and they put me to sleep.
Outpatient to put you to sleep.
Yeah, they put me to sleep.
So it's kind of like getting a colonoscopy.
Yeah, it's like getting a colonoscopy. Yeah,
except they
put
do
you to
shit.
sleep.
Instead of just checking around, they do shit.
They open you up and they, get in there and put bands, wrap them up.
Oh, wow. It must be working, too, because you had pizza downstairs.
Oh, yeah. I'm testing my system right now.
Oh,
like, I haven't eaten a cheese pizza in, like, maybe 5 years.
Really?
So I'm like, I'm going to test, and this was cheesy as hell. Y'all had, like, extra cheese.
Yeah, no, we get it lightly cooked. So
because, okay.
from Salvatore Pizza.
Really? Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, sponsor of the MIA.
Oh, okay.
I
All right.
I have no idea. Maybe he can be one day. But yeah.
So I've stayed away from pizza and bread, but now that I'm like I'm gonna test my system. So I'm gonna.
That's great. You're doing it in here, so we'll see what happens over the next hour.
Because I eat stuff. Because I eat a plant-based diet anyway.
Sure.
And I stay away from cheeses anyway, just because it's made of dairy and whoop-de-whoop. So I don't do that. Cool. But yeah.
All right, so rewind, because one of the first things I wanted to talk to you about was as COVID hit this year, that as bad as 2020 was, I guess, for the world, you had a pretty damn good year because you almost died.
Yeah, I almost died. I don't say almost. It's, because if I would, it's either you die or you don't.
Right.
I don't know if my life was any danger, but it was in danger because anytime they cut your head open, there's a chance something will happen.
You hear the word brain and anything, and it's it's not going to be a walk in the park, and it's what. So what happened? I know you've told the story 1,000 times.
Yeah, I was out with my family and I had a seizure, and they rushed me to the hospital and found out that I had a cavernoma, which is a group of cells that form a tumor, and it ruptured, I guess, and started bleeding on my brain, and that's what forced me to seize, because when it's on your left side, it shuts down your right side, and then my speech also started to go because I started just not being able to form, my brain couldn't formulate sentences, and I would just go and that's the frustrating part because I'm a stand-up comic and communication is what I do,
Right. I mean, and I hate to go here, but it's at what point in time did your comic brain kick in and start thinking of actual this is good? I guess after you realized you were going to be okay.
Right after, but immediately, you start you start recording things in your brain.
Only a comic would appreciate that I just said that.
Funny.
Right.
I don't know when, but I started taking mental notes. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
in the midst of the storm, you're like, what? Like Dean and I the other day, we were talking about crashing. And when I was crashing on I-95, my car, I was driving and I hit a puddle of water and I started spinning. And in the midst of it, I started thinking, oh shit, I'm just waiting for a truck to come.
Right.
Come on, big money. Yeah. So that's kind of like the same thing. When I started seizing, I started thinking of things and my mind just started taking notes.
Stay in the moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away. Because you've mentioned, I've heard you talk about how you were taking mental notes on how your kids react.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm getting to I could see I'm am I shaking, and I went through a brain check of my body, and I knew I wasn't having a stroke. I'm in a vegan restaurant. How could I be having a heart attack?
Right.
Why is this happening? I eat. I'm good.
Right.
This should not be happening. I must be dying. I don't know what the fuck's happening to me. It's not a stroke. I'm not having a stroke. I eat plant-based. And then my kids were crying and they were freaking out. And then once someone gave them a cell phone, I was like, you sons of bitches. They don't give a fuck. They stopped crying.
Back on Roblox.
Yeah, they were
Subway Surfer.
They were just okay, bye, daddy. So that was what?
So who called the ambulance? The restaurant?
Yeah, someone in the restaurant, they called the ambulance. And even my wife was screaming for a while. Not for a while, but they were just someone called the police, call the ambulance. And then one guy came to help me, and then he kind of sat me down because I was trying to walk the shit off.
Right.
Turn off cell phones, please.
Whatever.
I was trying to walk the shit off, until this guy grabbed me and sat me down. And then the paramedics showed up with Proud Boy haircuts and shit. So, and that's what I thought, And then we kind of had a moment where we looked at each other. And I'm like, are they going to care for me?
Right, exactly.
And then they kind of look like, do we have to care for this motherfucker? But then they kind of warmed up, and it was like, okay, these guys.
They are going to try to save your life.
They're really trying to save my life.
Right. Wow, crazy, man. And then you turned it all into a special, man. Which is brilliant, great job. It's You have it out right now. It's on
Amazon. It's called Brain Humor.
Called Brain.
Kyle
Look
Grooms
at that.
Brain Humor. There you go.
See, that's production right there, bro.
Bam.
Bam. Right up there.
Dun, 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 dun.
Go to Amazon.com. Get Brain Humor by Kyle Grooms.
And I also put it on YouTube too,
you did?
for the
For the broke
motherfuckers. Yeah, it's a recession, man. We need to help each other.
We need to
help each other. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Not all of us. This is a troubling times for people financially.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. So who and actually Dean's the one who did that for you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Dean Gonzalez. He's the director. He's the one that put the battery in my back to do kind of documentary style special, because I wanted to do a special, and I had planned on it, but then this hit, and then I'm like, hey, why don't I do a brain special about what happened? So I wrote material and filmed some stuff.
That's amazing, dude. That's really cool. Man, I got a full disclosure. I have to tell you this, man, because really happy that you're here, because I'm telling you, when I first started doing comedy in like 2009. Mm-hmm. I would go to mics or go to shows, whatever, and dude, you were like Sasquatch. You were like Bigfoot, bro. I'm telling you.
Big hairy black man?
Yeah, no, it's not what I mean. I mean, like when people are like, yo, man, Kyle Grooms might be coming through, yo, like, get your stuff. Like, people are, because, dude, you're like a legend, bro.
Wow.
I'm serious, bro. Like, you've been, any comic's dream, I'm telling you, you have fulfilled at this point, dude. Dude, you were on the Chappelle Show, bro. You were on the Chappelle Show. You were on Def Comedy Jam. Mm-hmm. You had a Comedy Central special before they were giving that shit out at Walmart, like in the lobby, in the parking lot. When it actually meant something. When so, dude, and you've been in Amy Schumer movies, and you were on Last Comic Standing. It's like anybody can make the list. It's like, yo, man, I want to be on Last Comic Standing.
Yeah, I feel like I had a bunch of tiny bites.
Which is awesome.
Of the industry pizza. but it's not that fulfilling. It's like appetizers. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, back then your ass wasn't working, right? So you could only take bites. So.
Oh yeah. What?
My bad.
No homo pause.
No. So when you you don't have a day job, right? So you have all the things that you have done.
Yeah. To
the point where it's a career.
Absolutely. I can't complain. Oh yeah, I've never had to take a day job since I quit Univision in 2000.
Right.
Yeah, I resigned from Univision in 2000 and have been there ever since. So I'm grateful. I'm not complaining. But as an artist, you always want to see what else can do. I want to fill more seats and be more in demand, and it's like
make more movies.
Make more movies and be more and just. Take a bigger slice of the pie.
And then other things that people don't know a lot about you is you do a lot of international comedy too, like in weird ass places like Asia.
Yeah. I've been to Pakistan and Asia and Singapore and China. I did a 5-city tour of China, and not for the troops, for the Chinese and for the Muslims in Pakistan. Muslims got to laugh too. You know what I mean? So, I just had different connections, man. You go international with it. And comedy's booming around the world. It was before BC, before Corona.
Right.
It's been booming, like, India, I know, opened up a few comedy stores. And
But when you're doing sets over there, is it the same set? Is it your
exact same set? I mean, I don't use local references. I don't talk about Hialeah or nothing,
No.
You know what I mean? But the Palmetto Expressway, but same swag, same energy, same everything, man, and even same, I have to speak a little clearer and talk maybe a little slower, but I can't be like just ripping through it, but
that's cool, man.
And I've been through like at least 5-6 cities in mainland China, not Wuhan. But I have been to Shenzhou, Suzhou. I've been through a bunch.
That's amazing.
Beijing. Yeah.
Wow. And you had mentioned this to me, that you actually, I think it was in Pakistan, though, you did an open mic.
Oh, yeah, I did open mic in Pakistan. Like the first night we got there, they were like, hey, you want to go to an open mic? I'm like, oh, shit, is it an open mic? First of all, there was a armed guard sitting at the door, Jesus. Like, with a thing, and then you go into this building and go up on the 3rd or 4th floor, and it was like this little art you know, like you look like a theater, a little small theater with
Sure.
like chairs, and then there was a Pakistani female comic on stage with her head garb on, and
Oh, really?
she was doing jokes, killing them.
She was killing them.
She was killing, yeah.
Oh.
Killing a mostly male crowd. There was a few females peppered in there too, but you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's one thing I find out with comedy, like, you know, all the shit you hear on the news and stuff. You go there and you see, oh, this shit is just like it is over there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Women got their rights, you know. Women are fighter pilots. They do all that shit over there. I thought women weren't allowed to have that.
Yeah, wouldn't be allowed to be on stage and telling jokes like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And like, man, you don't see women out fighting, you know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? It's happening because I went to underground parties where it was just like it would be a party here, you know, like a party in Brickell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sexy women and music.
Really?
Alcohol.
Well, I know
but
people
those are the well-to-do though.
Right,
there.
Of course. The well-to-do are really
because it was like a country club. Oh yeah, they're behind walls. It was like everything's behind walls. You know.
Like you go to Latin America, and places Latin America, it's like that, man.
We had that in the Philippines. The experience in the Philippines was like that. It was like you going down the side and the streets are this big and there's poverty everywhere.
Right.
And people are pissing and bathing in
People
ditches.
are drinking their own piss outside the gate, and you're in there like, why is the AC not working in this room? You're complaining about the concierge.
No, sorry, sir.
What do you mean there's no 8:15 reservation available? Yeah.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about?
International travel.
Yeah, international travel. Yes, and even being in a Muslim country, there was nothing that I stayed away from. There's one joke I did the first night at the open mic that I found that I couldn't do just because the crowd reacted to it, and it wasn't even. I think just that I mentioned the word Allah, they were just like,
"Ooh."
Allah is not a punchline.
Oh,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. All right, so there are some levels of difference.
Yeah. And I knew that going in, but I was going so good at this open mic. They were liking me so much.
You got the light.
Yeah, it was like, because it was a little group of people, and it was, you know.
Yeah. Oh, you thought you got the light. You got a little red dot from the other side of the room.
I trusted this group to do my stuff in, and then I said, Allah won't see it, and they were just like, don't do that. You didn't give a fuck. You just proceeded on. No, but and then I kept that out. I didn't do that joke again in that country, but it was good that I got to go to that open mic and test it out.
That's awesome.
Before I did it in front of a huge crowd of people, not doing that same reaction, you know.
So let me ask you, as a comic, switching gears completely, talk about something you mentioned earlier that I mentioned earlier. You were on the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, we don't talk about Chappelle Show no more. We're boycotting it.
Exactly.
It's over. I don't even know. What show?
What show? Right. How do you feel about, his stance that he took and what, so I'm all about it.
Yeah, good for him, man. It's, that's dirty. I don't know if it's just dirty, but it's like you get I don't know.
I'm a musician.
You don't want to see somebody fucking your girl. It's like you built this thing. As an artist, I'm selfish. I don't know. You don't want someone to be riding off you. And you should be able to renegotiate certain contracts, Because
here's the thing. I'm a musician.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so I know how dirty and how absolutely reprehensible the record contract is.
Mm-hmm.
But it was made up in the 20s, 30s, 40s when, they would just completely take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And, it's like almost like you are lucky enough to be a musician artist. And you do get paid. You get paid on your third record deal. That's when you really get banged out. But for the most part, a record company deal is a loan. So I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but my point is I know the ins and outs of a record deal. I don't know the ins and outs of a sitcom deal. So I don't know.
It's probably
there's a lot of bullshit in there too. And they get really hungry, wannabe famous people who say to themselves, let's go to a sign.
Age and this will be the.
And then they become Ray Romano or Jerry Seinfeld, where later on down the road they'll sign their big deal, but they got fucked.
Yeah.
So and Chappelle stood up for that man and said no, and that's awesome. I think that's absolutely, I really respect it. I don't know, there's a lot of people out there that could do that, could afford to do that, but I don't know what kind of financial position he was in when he walked away originally, but it's another reason why for me he is who he is for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think anyone else could have pulled that off. Dave, just his power within the culture and what he could, I'm sure he nudged him with that.
Yeah, like he went to his agents. His own agent said no, so then he just brought it to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just came to the people and said, "This is what's going on."
Netflix wants to do business with him in the future,
Yeah.
And they should. I mean, and it's probably, I'm sure the Comedy Central people who were there, because the Comedy Central's changed. They fired a lot of people. It's changed, but there should be a clause, something. Where
I don't even think it's a Comedy Central issue. I think it's just an industry, just the way things were structured back then. I mean, he was right, man. You sign away everything in perpetuity for life.
But it should be something. If there's a new industry and every time you sell it, it should be whatever you should get your percentage of what you sold it.
Exactly
to keep its value. Everyone gets the same.
Right, and there's things you could, like if he was going to do something else with Comedy Central, then he could bring to the table, all right, but we need to renegotiate that first deal where you fucked me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But since he's not, Comedy Central's under no real obligation to concede. Yeah. So, but yeah.
And I wonder if him leaving breached his contract.
It absolutely did.
Which is like, you breached. Because Neil Brennan, I noticed, hasn't been saying anything.
There is nothing illegal or wrong with what Comedy Central did. It's just, it's like he said, what is right? You know what I mean? So it is.
Neil Brennan's been pretty quiet.
Yeah,
that was his partner, so
Yep, absolutely. Dude, you've worked with, actually, from the Chappelle Show, Charlie Murphy. How many? Because there really isn't anyone that you're past at all the places in New York, right?
Yeah.
Comedy. I can't even imagine what it's like to get up at the Cellar. Just just show up and just do a set. And just.
I don't just show up.
Of course, right.
I'm in the. I have to call in my spots in the Vales for SD, and
Sure.
But yeah, the show ups are, you gotta be hot.
But just to say that, to be able to say that sentence is just something else.
I'm in the frat, I guess,
Sure.
I could sit at the table and get discount chicken wings. You know what I mean?
Can you sit at that special table?
Yeah, I get, my food's discounted or comped or, I get discount drinks, so, yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
What
in perpetuity, I think. I don't know. I don't know how to
in perpetuity. Well, if it's right. I don't know, is there anyone really famous that you fucked with that you like? Who's someone that you've worked with that you really just like can put up there and just say, man, that makes me feel really good that I had an association with that guy or a girl and worked with them.
Charlie Murphy, man.
Yeah.
Just that I knew. It's like I was such a super fan of Eddie Murphy that he doesn't even seem human to me. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, even I saw Eddie Murphy once and was like, but Charlie, and then Charlie was what he was, but when I met him on the screen, so you think of him as one way, like he's always playing a mean hoo-hoo dude, but when I met Charlie and started hanging out with him, he reminded me of kind of like my brother, and kind of like he was so different. Like he was real, he was warm, his stories were amazing, and that I got to know him from and be on tour with him, and share, be in hotel rooms and be on airplanes and stuff with Charlie. Sure. I'm like, wow, I can't, that's something I really never thought in my life, and then he became more like Eddie was still like on the I would hear him on the phone with Eddie, but not be. it was like, okay, Charlie's on the phone with his brother type.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Sure, 100%, yeah.
Like, his brother's going through some shit. But Eddie wasn't the superstar to me. It was like Charlie it was that intimate that it was like, oh, my man's is.
I'm torn on something, man, that I know I'm in the minority, but like I saw Eddie do his set at SNL. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was awesome. It's just he is who he is, man. But I'm not sure if I want to see him come back and do like a Netflix special. I'm just not. Maybe it's because I'm afraid, because it's so important to me. Yeah. It meant so much to me. And now, like, you see, Kevin Hart did his special and people are panning it. Like, if God forbid, it's not, if it's not the earth moving or brilliant thing that it should be, that people are gonna come down on it. Maybe I shouldn't really give a shit about that. Maybe that's more something he's got to think about. But it's just it's like you said.
I think Eddie would be great, but I wonder what his subject matter would be.
100%, right?
Because it could be detached. I don't know, because Eddie's been living on the penthouse since. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%. He doesn't live in the same reality that he lived in.
No, not at all. Not at all. So, sometimes to get in the gutter, you got to be in the, Even me sometimes, I drive through and hang out in places I probably shouldn't, just to hear some energy, a certain way. You know what I mean? So I could somehow channel it and cook it, just get inspiration from different.
He can't do that.
Different sources. Eddie's not going to be, just in a barber shop, somewhere on the, south side, whatever, So, and in places in a corner, because that's where you learn your comedy, is the world beating up against you. You get what I mean? That's where it comes from. I don't know if from your penthouse perch.
Could see that. Yeah, it's a great point.
But interesting.
It'd be interesting.
But he's probably such a naturally funny dude.
He is,
he
man.
Could still spin the world.
That's 7 minutes. I mean, the stuff he was doing about Cosby, Who's America's Dad Now, man. It's just.
Oh yeah. So he could still probably, spin the world with a tickle.
Right. So what's it? Like, if you had your choice, your druthers, because you've been in a bunch of movies, man. So
I haven't been in a bunch of movies. Thanks for saying that.
I've been.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
You've been in.
Thanks, man.
If you had your choice to have that take off and be like an actor, or continue to do comedy and do stand up, where would your?
Wow! Of course, I can't say I would. If I could be as successful being a stand-up, I like to do movies too, though. That's just the thing. It's like I wouldn't want to choose, but I would love to be a big on this, whatever my acting, to be able to show that side of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like asking Jamie Foxx, could you be a singer or a comedian? It's like, but both of them bring me something. You know what I mean? Why can't I do both?
Make a Ray Charles movie.
Yeah,
so
but if you said if I have to be a struggling comedian or a wealthy actor or more successful actor, which that's what for my family, I would do that. Right. That would be the sacrifice I would make.
Jeremy Piven was an actor for years, and now he's out on doing his comedy. He's doing his things out. He's actually
the verse, and he's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's a few who because even if you're a performer, there's a few actors who turn comedians who aren't bad.
Right.
Because you're a performer and you know how to get a cut. But if you could find the wit, and if you're a witty actor as well, like you're naturally witty, why not?
We're in weird times with movies too, man. It's like things are going straight to video now on Amazon, and it doesn't like we were talking the Coming to America movie.
Yeah, Coming to America 2 is going to Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
I was very excited about that because my special's on Amazon. And hopefully
let's promote Amazon
it'll bring a lot more eyes to Amazon,
Right.
Amazon Prime, because
like it used to be like Regal or what AMC or what theater would carry. Now it's which service
Netflix
is gonna Netflix,
platform,
Amazon, Disney Plus, right?
HBO Go or HBO Max is trying to get really get in the game heavy.
And YouTube too. I mean, YouTube, Cobra Kai started on YouTube first, and then went to Netflix. So like I haven't been inside a movie theater since before COVID.
And I don't think I would. I actually didn't like musty. Started not liking musty movie theaters, because especially because I used to go in Times Square, New York, and all a lot.
Sure.
And then they got a lice, what was it, bed bug outbreak.
They had a bed bug
outbreak.
Remember when that was the big thing in New York?
Yeah. So I was like, theaters are kind of. And then they started getting the theaters where you lay down. I'm like, do I want to lay down?
See, I fuck with that though. I like
nasty
iPick. The big iPick couches when they bring you a blanket and a pillow.
I get it. But we're all swimming in each other's fucking.
Back then, now it's
DNA,
a little bit more,
you know?
right? But man, like the Top Gun sequel was supposed to have come out, and that just fell under the radar. Like we don't even know what happened to it.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
With Tom Cruise, man, it was supposed to have been out.
Yeah,
like,
I actually
right
wasn't
before
checking
COVID.
for that. Because I didn't see the Top Gun 1 movie. Really.
Oh, you didn't?
I actually didn't. I know all about it. I know some of the
you don't know
phrases
Goose? You
from.
know,
I know of Goose. I know the whole, but I don't know.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Well, that it was a big movie, and
I know what it was.
The second one's supposed to. Well, my point is like, I don't know if movies are going to come out in theaters anymore, or if that's really a priority, or what. Like and Oscars are going to be for films that come out on these services.
Yeah. They're going to be obsolete. Then it'll probably be going to a movie house would be something cool, like a hipster. You know what I mean? It'll be something.
Sure.
A throwback thing to do, like drive-in movies. Let's go to a movie theater.
Sure.
And now it's like, let's go to a drive-in.
Well, you know what's coming? You know what's happening all over the country? These drive-in comedy shows.
Oh yeah, I'm liking that.
Yeah, I'm liking that too.
I'm liking that too.
I haven't done one yet, but I think it's got to be kind of weird to be up there and have people, instead of laughing, honking their horns and shit. Yeah, now what they're being smart about it, they're backing up like pickup trucks and big SUVs and opening up the backs, and people are sitting on that. So the front row, you could actually at least get some laughs, and then everybody else behind. So yeah, it's really cool. Bert Kreischer's doing a lot of that with Dave Williamson, and they're doing a lot of stuff here. Only and Dade did one a couple months ago. Yeah, and it worked out well.
Where they do it?
I don't know where they did it.
Most the Improv. It was next to the Improv.
Right next to the Improv. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I like to do an open air place. There's a new place that opened up down in Miami called the Urban.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's in Overtown.
Really?
Like Overtown now is getting like a renaissance. Like Overtown back in the day.
A lot of Jewish folks go to the
I mean, you could now. Because there's a Red Rooster. Red Rooster's a famous restaurant in Harlem, and now it's in Overtown.
Sure.
And you go to Overtown now, because trust me, I know Overtown's history, but now the trees are lined with lights, like Christmas lights. You feel safe. The Red Rooster already has a little sophistication. I saw Jewish couples going in there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I saw, it was like, and then they have an open air space with grass, and it's they got art, and it's just black owned, baby.
That's really cool, man.
I'm excited.
That's cool. So you grew up here in Miami, right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
I grew up in Jersey.
Oh, you grew up where in Jersey?
I'm from Jersey. I'm born in Elizabeth.
Nice.
Then I moved to Linden and in Perth Amboy. I graduated Perth Amboy.
What year did you get here?
87.
Oh wow, 10 years before me. I grew up in Cliffside Park, New Jersey.
Oh, you grew up Cliffside? Okay, your parents had money or something, huh? No. Yeah, Cliffside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I got here in 97.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you start doing comedy?
I started comedy in 95.
So you were here for 8 years?
Yeah, I was here for 8 years. But you know what? I had moved back to New York in 91 or 2 and worked 92 and worked in Manhattan for 3 or 4 years.
Sure.
And I was always thinking about doing comedy then. And because after Def Jam, I was like, okay, maybe I can really do this now,
Sure.
And I never could get on stage in New York. I would always go to Uptown Comedy Club, and they have workshops, and I could never get on, never could get stage time. So I said I'm gonna move back to Miami, and then I'll start there. But I did do one show in New Jersey. It was at a hair show for my ex-girlfriend. She worked at a hair salon that had a hair show.
Sure.
It's like a fashion show, but they show their hair and shit. And I said I could do some comedy. And they were like, sure, okay, we'll let you do it. And then the host didn't show up, and they said, can you host?
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, holy shit. So then I had to host it and do all this, and I had to bring up the DJ or whatever, the break dancers, and then I got to do my spot, and I killed for 14 and a half minutes or so.
Nice.
Because I knew my crowd. I knew it was a Hispanic crowd, so I talked about the soap operas and the novellas and, all that Spanish and all how dramatic they are. And then I talked about sex, and I killed them for 14 minutes.
Oh, cool.
But I felt naive because now I look back and I'm like, holy shit.
Dean?
Yeah.
My camera's off?
Yeah, I know. You want to keep going? I'm doing Wyatt and Kyle.
That's fine.
We got 8 minutes.
All right, we're cool.
And I'm like, I look back and I can't believe I did 14 minutes my first time on stage. I could have bombed. That could have went terrible.
Sure.
Could have went terrible.
So that was the first time you were ever...
and my girl probably would have left me, too, if I would have bombed.
What's the... So that was the first time you actually, told a joke and people
laughed. I did. And then I moved back to Miami, and I found out that they were doing comedy at Studio 183, which is in the back of the Liberty... Not the flea market, the 63rd Street Flea Market in Carroll City. And it was a place called Miami Nights in the Jazz Room, and Marvin Dixon used to host it.
Nice.
And it's the place where every black comic, it was part of the Chitlin circuit.
Yep.
And every black comic that's famous now came through there. And they said, it's a rumor that this is where Bernie Mac got the catchphrase, "I ain't scared of you motherfuckers,"
Really?
At Studio 183. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a historic room. It's a legendary room. There's always stories about it. So yeah, that's
it was rough because they had it was like you're on the stage and this is the crowd, but then they had a crow's nest up here where the dudes with the bottles would be like barking down on you, and you had to perform in the lion's den, bro.
Very cool.
And that's where I started.
But everything brings you back to Miami always, man. It's like me. Like I moved here in '97, man. Mm-hmm. And again, like today we talked about earlier, this weather today, like it's 50 for an hour, and now we're gonna leave here and go outside. I might play golf this afternoon. It's like the weather's gonna be spectacular and perfect.
Oh yeah, especially now.
You go to New York right now, and it's probably 35 or 40 degrees.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like living here. I live where people vacation, so that's good. It's like finding a tropical destination for me now. It's like I'm not impressed.
Not impressed, right? What am I gonna get better than what I got here?
Yeah, what I got here, and after doing comedy in New York for 14 years, it's a good place for me to do my work from home.
And the culture here too, because I'm Cuban, so my family's Cuban.
You're Cuban?
Okay. Right, from Cuba. Lopez, my family. So, and you met my mom, so it's pretty simple and pretty easy.
Down from Jersey. Okay.
Right, exactly. Right. My parents came here.
I thought you would say Union City or West New York or some shit like that.
Back up, stop. My dad's dental practice was in Union City, 36th Street. And I went to high school in West New York at St. Joe's, West New York.
All
right. So you hit all the key spots.
Okay. I was surprised with that. Okay. Yeah. I'm racist. Is that racist?
Yeah, a little bit. That's all right.
Hey, I was right. It ain't racist if it's right.
It ain't racist if it's right. So
see, if I'd have said Weehawken, I'd have fucked up.
Oh, you would have fucked up. Yeah. We stayed away from Weehawken. So what? We were a little bit talking about this. What do you know about Cuban culture? Like there's amazing documentaries that are out there, man. Like
I know you motherfuckers are black and more African than you claim to be.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
And it's a mix. I've learned a lot just from documentaries and friends, and being in Miami.
Being in Miami, you can't
working
help it.
at Univision.
Right. Yeah. It's funny how you say that again.
Univision.
That's awesome, bro. That's great, too. That's great. Because the average gringo is going to say Univision, right?
Yeah.
But you had it down like, Abuelita would say it. Oye, pon Univision, que tal canal. That's it. That's exactly how you would say it.
But I tell you, I was surprised, though. Growing up in Jersey, moving to Miami, I thought, like, New York, Puerto Ricans and blacks in New York, when I grew up, or Jersey, we all kind of had the same mix. Like, you
Right.
know, motherfuckers created hip hop together, did that type. Like, that's how the relationship was.
Sure.
But when I came to Miami, it was like, y'all don't fuck with each other? Like,
No, dude.
And I would have black men. Nah, we don't fuck with them crackers.
Yeah, dude.
And then Cubans were like, nah, I've never been to those neighborhoods.
No,
and I'm like,
right.
what?
Yeah.
But it's Liberty City's right there.
Yeah.
You've been living here.
They
you don't
go
know
around,
what 62nd
dude. It's like,
Street.
No.
That was disappointing to me, actually. I was like,
I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I agree.
So even when I started at Univision, I had reservations when I would move. But, you know, I don't walk with a chipper, but I would be conscious of, like, how's these motherfuckers going to receive me? But, you know.
Yeah, things have gotten better, I think.
Yeah, your mother thought I was a delivery driver, B.
Yeah. Not only did she think it, she said you could be.
She didn't even believe. She stuck it in deeper. Come on, B. Say he might be again, motherfucker.
All right, dude. Well, this has been an absolutely incredible time. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything else you want to talk about? You want to talk about your put it up again?
Yeah, you can catch me on IG, on social media, and check out my special brain humor on Amazon Prime or on YouTube if you ain't got time.
If you ain't got time. Well, this is Will Lopez from the MIA in Miami, in Hialeah, in the City of Progress at the IDS Studios. Thanks for spending this time with us. Comment below. If you want to be a guest on the show, hit me up. I'm easy to find. Bay Club every other Monday. Kyle Grooms will be headlining for us on this Monday, December 14th.
Am I? Oh, yeah.
Yes, you are. Yes,
Yeah.
you are. December 14th. Hey, can you headline for us?
Yeah, I could.
Okay, good. We just booked him. He's coming on December 14th. Thanks to Dean in the back, production. God bless you. God bless everybody out there. We'll see you soon. Peace.